Okay, to round up our discussion on planning and budgeting, we'll discuss with strategic planning. The discussion of strategic planning will not involve any computations. As you will notice in the questions that we will be answering, the focus here would be more on theories. So there are many questions here that would be very objective and few that will require analysis on our part. But the analysis here would mostly just be an application of the theories, wherein you will just need basic common sense to arrive at the correct answer. Okay, so number one, we are asked for the basically you would be asked to describe what is meant by strategy, and the answer here would be letter D. Strategy is the long-term planning and work of the organization. Strategy work is not the day-to-day. When we talk about strategy, it's not the day-to-day operations of the organization, but it serves as a guide to the day-to-day operations of the organization. Strategy provides a framework and feedback mechanism to evaluate the long-term effects of daily work on the future of the organization. Okay, so the answer here should be letter D. Next, uh, which of the following steps in the strategic planning process should be completed first? So out of the four choices, the answer here would be letter D also, which is to create a mission statement. As we will see in question number three, the first step of the strategic planning process will involve the establishment or creation of the company's vision and mission. So out of the four choices, the best answer here is to create a mission statement. But technically, the first step should be your vision and mission, and the vision comes first, followed by your mission statement. But in number two, as regards the other choices, the creation of your mission statement comes first. Number three, which of the following correctly orders the steps in the strategic planning process? And the answer here would again be letter D. We start with the vision and mission, followed by environmental scanning, which will involve acquisition or gathering of data in relation to the environment or the industry, followed by the design of your strategy or strategy design, and then the implementation, followed by evaluation and control. Number four, which of the following statements concerning strategic planning is not true? The answer here is letter A. An organization's vision and mission flow from its strategic plan. That's incorrect. It's the strategic plan that should flow from your vision and mission. Since we know the answer here is letter A, and that is the false statement, that means letter B, C, and D are correct statements concerning strategic planning. Okay, and an organization's long-term goals are typically laid out in its strategic plan. That's correct. To help achieve its long-term goals, an organization typically establishes milestones in its strategic plan. That's also correct. An organization's strategic plan takes into consideration its industry, competitors, and environment. Okay, that is also correct. So this kind of multiple choice question is helpful if later on in the essay you would be asked to describe strategic planning. Okay. So you may take the note of this kind of question so that when this comes out in the essay, you will just transfer these choices. Okay, but you will have a problem if you will get this question wrong. You'll end up including a statement that is not accurate for your strategic plan. Number five, which of the following statements concerning strategic planning is correct? The answer here is letter D. A company selling electronic products to consumers likely uses a shorter time frame for strategic planning than does a company selling baseballs. So basically, the issue here is on the length of your strategic plan or the period that will be covered by your strategic plan. And in determining the length of your strategic plan or how often you are going to restart or to redo your the strategic planning process, you will have to take into account the intensity of the competition, and how often or how quickly products or services will change. So comparing electronic products and baseball, there you expect there to be more competition and more changes in the product when we are dealing with electronic products compared to selling baseballs. That's why the best answer here is letter D. Number six, which of the following is an external factor that should be analyzed during the strategic planning process? So it's common in the strategic planning process class that you will have to determine, you will have to take into account internal and external factors, especially if you are going to perform the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. When we talk about SWOT analysis, strengths and weaknesses, the focus there is on internal factors, whereas when we are dealing with opportunity, when we are trying to determine opportunities and threats, the focus there is on external factors. And to be asked, uh, expect to be asked on determining whether a factor is an internal or an external factor. So here we are asked which is an external factor. So and the answer here is letter A, a company acquiring your largest competitor and investing money in the company. So this uh, takes into account our competition outside already of the entity. So this possibly represents a threat on our part. Okay, that means all the other choices must be internal factors. Let's see. The ability of a manufacturing company to reduce waste such that selling price can be reduced. So this would be an internal improvement on our part. So this is an internal factor. The ability of research and development personnel to develop a new product, that is also an internal factor which would give us our strength. The ability of a company to fund an expansion with operating cash flow. See, still an internal factor. Okay, and a possible source for a strength. Number seven, which of the following is not a level at which companies develop strategies? Okay, this is a very objective question. Out of the four choices, strategies are not developed on a mission level. There's no such thing. You have functional level, corporate level, and competitive level. Okay, definitely none for mission. Number eight, which of the following statements concerning strategy level is correct? Okay, so the answer here is letter C. Competitive level strategies address how an individual business unit creates value in its industry. Letter A and letter B are incorrect because they describe the other uh, levels of strategies. For example, functional level strategies are those that address areas such as marketing, operations, and R&D. So the definitions were interchanged for letter A and letter B. Whereas corporate level strategies address what businesses a company should compete in. Number nine, which of the following correctly describes vision statement and mission statement? Okay, so for me, it's important for you to remember this definition or description because this could be asked in the essay examination. In the CMA exam that I took, I was asked about this one to give a description of what a vision statement and a mission statement is. Okay, and the answer here is letter B. The vision statement describes what the organization intends to be or intends to become and answers the question, who are we? The vision statement guides subsequently the development of the mission statement, and the mission statement describes what the organization is committed to do or how it will act and it answers the question, what do we do? So vision, who are we? Mission, what do we do? Uh, the vision tells us what the organization intends to do or intends to become, while the mission tells us what the organization is committed to. Okay, vision, who are we? Mission, what do we do? Number 10, which of the following statements concerning vision statements and mission statements is correct? The answer here is letter D. A vision statement expresses an organization's success in terms of its contribution to society, while a mission statement provides a clear statement about how the organization will work toward achieving its vision. Letter A here is definitely wrong. Vision is not the same as a mission statement. While while the definition provided in letter B is incorrect, it is the mission statement that provides how the organization will work towards achieving its mission. Okay, number 11. Which of the following is not one of the aspects or features of an organization's environment? So here, the best answer here is letter A, companies in the same geographical region that will never be customers or competitors. So since they will never be customers or competitors, they will not be included in our analysis of the environment of the company. So definitely B, C, and D are aspects of an organization's environment. The suppliers and other stakeholders who may partner with the organization, including the local governments and the community groups. The world in which the organization operates, which involves economic trends, government and legal mandates, and demographic factors. Okay, and the last choice, which is a feature also of an entity's environment, is the internal structure, comprising of the employees, physical assets, resources, and properties of the company. Number 12, which of the following statements properly defines environmental scanning? So remember, this is the one of the steps in the strategic planning process. So here we are given the definition for environmental scanning. Expect the essay questions here to be very objective as well. You'll be mostly asked for definitions, class. So here, the answer would be letter B. Environmental scanning is the process in which an organization continuously gathers and evaluates information that could impact its ability to compete. Number 13, a country's political environment will likely affect which of the following uh, political environment. This would be more on long range planning, but not so much on budgeting. So the answer here is letter A. Number 14, how is strategic planning different from strategy formulation? The best answer here is that strategic planning addresses how to implement, letter A, how to implement business strategies, whereas strategy formulation results in new strategies. Okay, so ordinarily there is an overlap between there will be overlap between strategy formulation and strategic planning, but these two processes have slight but important conceptual differences. Okay, strategy formulation results in new strategies. You will be formulating new strategies, whereas strategic planning addresses how to implement the strategies. So formulation, you create new strategies, and the strategic planning involves the implementation of the strategies, including the newly developed or formulated strategies. Number 15, the company, a chain of small convenience stores in Atlanta, Georgia, has just opened a store in a rapidly developing suburb to the north of the city. The marketing manager believes that this suburb is a lucrative market as the area has several expensive homes and offices, but does not have any other convenience stores or supermarkets. Which of the following is likely to neutralize the opportunity offered by the new market? Okay, here this is an example wherein you will have to analyze already. You have an opportunity since you have a growing uh, market. Okay, so you're asked which of the following is most likely to neutralize the opportunity. And the best answer here would be letter C, because there is an abundant retail space that is available at very low rates. This will this will invite a lot of competition. Okay, so this would actually result, this could be considered as a source of a threat on the part of the company. Okay, all the others does not represent a threat or will not tend to neutralize the opportunity in this new market. 16, the company, a large software services company, has benefited in the past from having strong centralized leadership. The top management makes decisions and sets goals for the entire organization and tasks mid and low level managers with implementing this in the company's teams. Which of the following, if true, indicates that the centralized leadership is now more likely to be a weakness than a strength for the company? So, the centralized leadership was considered as a strength before. We are asked which of the following situations will lead us to conclude that having a centralized leadership at this point will already be considered as a weakness instead of a strength. Okay, if the best answer here would be letter C. The company recently charged its business to focus more on product development, and its teams of product developers cherish creative freedom and autonomy. Okay, you will not be able to enjoy so much freedom and autonomy if you have a strong centralized leadership. Okay, let's try to go over the other choices. Here, the company's top management now consists almost entirely of engineers who have worked for the company for a long time and have a high degree of expertise in the services the company offers. Here, because your top management are experts, uh, you will be benefited by having a centralized leadership. Okay, letter B, the company recently won its first contract to provide software services to the US government. It has very little thing to do with the centralized leadership issue. The offices are located primarily in countries where organizational hierarchies are respected. If this was the case, then it's better if you have a strong centralized leadership. So in that case, having a centralized leadership will continue to be a strength, and that is not what we are looking for. So again, the answer number 16 is letter C. 17, the CEO of the company believes that the company should prepare strategic plans at least once a year. However, the company's president believes that strategic plans should not be changed frequently and should be prepared only every 3 years. Which of the following types of organization structures for the company would support the CEO's position? Okay, so your strategic plan should not be changed every year. Okay, but here, even the suggestion of the CEO is relatively shorter than what is customary. Okay, normally you will have strategic plans for 5 to 10 years. Okay, but here the CEO is suggesting only 3 years. So, what situation or circumstances would support uh, position that the strategic plan should be done or updated or changed every 3 years and not longer? And as I've mentioned earlier, the things that you should consider would be the level of competition, the intensity of the competition, and the degree of change or the frequency of change as regards the products or services that is being offered. Okay, so with that, the answer in number 17 would be letter B. The company is a leading provider of cutting edge communication technology and functions in a fast moving and highly competitive. Okay, so you are engaged in a highly competitive market that deals with a rapidly changing product. So it's advisable for you to have shorter uh, term or time frame for your strategic plan. But again, definitely it's not advisable for your strategic plan to be for 1 year lang. Okay. So 1 year is not good, but here it's still preferable if you have a relatively shorter term for your strategic plans. Okay, so that's why uh, 3 years would be a good term for your strategic plans. Number 18, which of the following statements concerning strategic planning is correct? The answer here is letter A. A company selling paint likely uses a longer time frame for strategic planning than does a company selling women's clothing. Okay, from the nature of the products lang class, we expect changes to be more rampant in the clothing industry compared to the selling of paint products. Okay, let's try to go over the other choices. A company selling paint and a company selling women's clothing both likely use a 3-year time frame. No. Uh, a company selling paint likely uses a shorter time frame. It's incorrect. That's exactly the opposite of what we expect. Letter D, a company selling point may use a longer, shorter time frame for strategic planning than does a company selling. Uh, it's not really mostly on management preference, but it is dictated by competition and changes in the product or services. Which of the following is not an external factor that should be analyzed during the strategic planning process? And letter A, a new administration's attitude toward antitrust regulation. When we are dealing with regulation, that is definitely an external factor. Letter B, the ability of the company's manufacturing equipment to handle an increase in volume from expanding into a new geographic region. So we're dealing with the physical assets of the company, so this would be considered as an internal factor. Okay, so this should be our answer. Let's go over the other choices. Letter C, the availability of high-speed wireless access on customers' ability to access your product. That would be an external factor. A company acquiring your largest competitor and investing money in the company. Again, that's another example of an external factor. So out of the 4 choices, only letter B deals with an internal factor. 20, which of the following is the appropriate time frame for a strategic plan? Okay. Best answer here is a strategic plan is commonly long term, but it depends on the industry. Okay, to implement a shorter, depending on the industry, there may be a need to implement a shorter strategic plan. 21, which of the following statements concerning vision statement is not correct? Answer here is letter A. An organization's vision statement is based on its mission statement. It's the other way around. The mission statement is based on the organization's vision statement. That means choices B, C, and D are true. A vision statement expresses an organization's success in terms of its contribution to society. A vision statement results from an organization's strategic planning process. Uh, hmm. Then letter D, a vision statement guides an organization guides an organization as it works towards future success and achievement. Okay, so going back to letter C, basically the remember that the development of your vision mission statement is the first step of the strategic planning process. 22, during the strategic planning process, which of the following is an external factor to be analyzed? Organizational structure culture is an internal. Societal culture, the culture of the society where you are operating, is definitely an external, and this is what we are looking for. So the answer here is letter B. Employee morale is internal. Organizational structure is also internal. Next, which of the following statements concerning the mission statement is not correct? Mission statement is not correct. An organization's mission statement is based on its vision statement. That's true. A mission statement expresses an organization's success in terms of its contribution to society. Okay, this is the answer because this is the false statement. What is being described here is our vision statement. A mission statement tells us why are we in business. A mission statement results from an organization's strategic planning process. 24, which of the following is not an example of an external factor in SWOT analysis? The economy is an external, financial resources is internal, Future technology trends is external, competitive forces external. So the answer here would be letter B. 25. Which of the following is not an external factor that should be analyzed during the strategic uh, planning process? So expect to have plenty of questions on this class. You'll be tested. You will be simply asked to determine whether it's an internal or external factor. Okay, they like these questions because it's not really an objective question. You will have to go over all the choices and uh, pick and analyze and then pick the correct answer. Okay, a greater number of political leaders calling for an increase in tariffs on imported goods. That is an external factor. The ability of workers to operate a new generation of manufacturing equipment. The ability of your workers is an internal factor. So this would be our answer. Okay, a major competitor going out of business and is an external factor that will give you an opportunity. A reduction in expected economic growth in markets where a company operates, that would be considered as a threat, but and definitely an external factor. So the answer here is letter B. Which of the following is not an internal factor that should be analyzed during the strategic planning process? This time we're looking for the one that is not an internal factor. Okay, letter A new administration's attitude toward antitrust regulation. Again, when talking about regulation, that is external. So this is already our answer. Okay, that means all the other choices are internal. Okay, ability of the company's manufacturing equipment, so deals with our physical assets. The ability of the company to fund an expansion, still dealing with our financial resources. The ability of the tax return company to prepare returns that are error free. Okay, still related to the company's operations, so internal. 27, the company is a small firm that provides specialized industry oriented articles and features to medical publications. Let's read the question first. Which of the following, if true, would strengthen Dr. Cruz's conclusion? And what is Dr. Cruz's conclusion? However, the chief editor, Dr. Cruz, believes that this development is a threat. What development are we talking about? Uh, it has a dominant market share. However, the firm's market currently is undergoing a rapid expansion owing to a proliferation of online medical websites. Okay, so the rapid expansion or the proliferation of online medical websites, is that a opportunity or a threat? Dr. Cruz thinks it's a threat. What situation would support the conclusion of Dr. Cruz? Okay, letter A. The firm has always struggled to find good good quality new hires. Okay, that would be considered as a problem, and that will be considered as a threat. Since we do not have good quality new hires, we will not be able to address this uh, change or development in the market. But let's try to go over the choice if indeed letter A is our best choice. The medical publishing industry has high entry barriers that discourage new entrants. If there was high entry barriers, then we would not see the proliferation of online medical websites as a threat, because it would still be the old players that would be able to take advantage of it. So that should not be our answer. Letter C, the firm has been identified as a cash cow in a BCG growth matrix developed by its parent firm. We'll have more examples on the BCG, the Boston Consultancy Group growth matrix later on. And if you're a cash cow, we have a high market share, and uh, then growth is also, but expected growth is low. Okay, so that would not be applicable here. The firm lists organization learning. Uh, The firm lists organizational learning as one of its strengths. So if you think your strength is organizational learning, then you should be able to adapt the proliferation of online medical websites. So that shouldn't be a problem. But since Dr. Cruz thinks it's a problem, then the best answer here would be letter A. 28. Which of the following components is assessed in an internal capability analysis of an organization? So internal capability, definitely the answer here would be letter A, resources. Okay, export, stakeholders, and then accounting practices. Not your accounting department, but the practice of accounting for everyone. So out of these, only one is an internal factor. So your answer here would be letter A. 29, which of the following will likely affect budgeting but not long range planning? A presidential election definitely will affect long range planning. A spike in sales at Christmas will definitely affect your budgeting, okay, and not your long range planning. So this would be our answer. Okay, let's try to go over C and D. Speculation that a new small company will be a major competitor in 3 years. That should affect long range planning. Plans to expand production. Okay, that should also affect your long range planning. So the answer here would be letter B. Number 30, which of the following is not an example of an internal factor in SWOT analysis? Physical assets, internal. Human skills, internal. Reputation and brand would be internal. Your customers would be, the demographics of your customers would be external. So the answer here would be letter C. 31, when using SWOT in designing strategy, which of the following describes an ST strategy? Strength and threat. Stra- Strategy, identify how to use our strengths to reduce exposure to uh, threats. Okay, you maximize your strength to minimize your threats. Uh, okay, so expect questions here dealing with asking you for the kinds of strategies that would be implemented under the SWOT analysis. Let's go over B, C, and D. Letter B, pursue opportunities that are a good fit to our strengths. So that's an SO strategy. Overcome our weaknesses to pursue available opportunities. So you minimize your weaknesses to maximize your opportunities. That's WO strategy. Establish a plan to prevent threats from exploiting your weaknesses. So you minimize your weaknesses to minimize your threats. That would be a WT strategy. Minimate. You and minimize threats. Sorry, minimize weaknesses to minimize threats. 32. Which of the following is an internal factor that should be analyzed during the strategic planning process? Okay. A greater number of political leaders. Again, when we're dealing with political leaders, that's an external factor. The availability of high speed. I think we've encountered a similar question. High speed wireless access to the customers would be external. A major competitor going out of business is external. The ability of a tax return company to prepare returns that are error free and on time is an internal factor. So the answer here would be letter D. 33, let's go to the question first. Which of the following, if true, best supports Melanie's argument? And what is Melanie's argument? Melanie Harris believes that its research and development division is now a weakness rather than a strength. So let's see. Letter A, Juno operates in a legal environment where strict regulations are in place to protect intellectual property rights. So if that's the case, then having a strong research and development team would be a strength because you will be highly protected. Juno cell phones and laptops continue to generate high profit margins. Okay, so that does not support Melanie's argument. Letter C, due to an economic slump, Juno's target consumers are becoming increasingly price sensitive. Okay, so if consumers are price sensitive, so they would shy away from products that are very expensive, and companies that are very intensive in research and development, companies that try to differentiate their products, companies that provide premium products are generally more expensive. So definitely this would now be a concern on the part of the company. So this would likely be our answer. Let's try to go over letter D. The bulk of Juno's business comes from consumers who are identified as early adopters of the technology. So if you have consumers that are early adopters, so they would definitely would be willing to pay premium. So it would be in our best interest to maintain a strong research and development team. Okay, so out of the choices, the best answer here would be letter C. Okay, our sales would definitely be affected and it will neutralize our research and development division. Because even if we continue developing high quality products, that might not necessarily result in more sales and profit for the company. 34. Which of the following statements concerning is successful strategic plan is not correct? Uh, the answer here would be, let's go over the first choice. A successful strategic plan helps an organization achieve its long term goals and objectives. That's true. A successful strategic plan has well defined goals consistent with the organization's mission. That's also true. A successful strategic plan includes objectives that provides the details or actions needed to achieve goals. That's correct. A successful strategic plan includes goals that provide the details uh, that needed to achieve objectives. Okay, and that's incorrect because a strategic plan should include goals and objectives, and the goals are typically your general guidelines of what the organization hopes to achieve, while your objectives provide the details or actions needed to support your goals. So letter D is incorrect because it's actually your objectives that provide the details or actions needed to achieve your goals. It's the other way around. It's not the goals providing details to achieve your objectives. It's your objectives. It is your strategic objectives that provide you with details or actions needed to achieve your strategic goals. So goals would be broader than objectives would be more specific to achieve your strategic goals. 35. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a successful strategic plan? The strategic plan is based on realities in the environment. That's a correct statement. The strategic plan should be created in such a way that it does not need to be reviewed and updated periodically. Okay, so again, strategic plan should normally be long term. It's your budgets, your operational budgets that should be updated periodically. So this is likely going to be our answer. The strategic third choice, the strategic plan is based on a clear statement of the organization's vision and mission. Okay, that's correct. And then the fourth is the strategic plan serves as a reference point for decision making in the organization. That's also correct. So the answer should be the second option. 36. A successful strategic plan should have SMART objectives. Which of the following is not an aspect of SMART objectives? So you have realistic, secondary, achievable, and timely. So basically, SMART class is an acronym. Stands for specific. Your objective should be specific. Okay, so in 36, the incorrect option here is your secondary because the S stands for specific, and then M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for realistic, and T stands for timely. Okay, S specific, M measurable, A achievable, R realistic, and T is for timely. Okay, this could be asked in the essay class, so please take note. Uh, what are the aspects of a SMART objective? Okay, and you may be asked to give a brief description for each of the aspects: the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely aspects class. Okay. 37, a successful strategic plan should have SMART objectives. Which of the following is not an aspect? Uh, the answer here is uh, R, routine, because R stands for realistic. 38, from its facility in North Carolina, the company manufactures and sells a small electric car under the brand name Kinoa. Kinoa is the first and only electric car of its kind in the market and is a bestseller owing to its low price. Which of the following is a threat that is most likely to reduce the company's competitive advantage due to its low price? Okay. Uh, we're looking for a threat. The price of gasoline increases sharply. This would be an opportunity because people would be more inclined to purchase electric cars this time. And then the government places import restrictions on electric cars. This would be an opportunity for the company because that means electric cars from outside the country will not be allowed to circulate in the local market. So it will continue to be the leader in the local market. New environmental regulations are imposed on fossil fuel based vehicles. Again, this is more a restriction on your fuel based vehicles instead of your electric vehicles. So, letter D, the government withdraws the subsidies it had extended to the electric car segment. So, this would be an issue because the subsidy could be the reason why consumers are buying this, and if such subsidy is withdrawn, then it will have an impact on the demand of our product. So the answer here would be the fourth choice. 39, which of the following statements concerning an accounting firm's mission is correct? First option, it can help. The mission can help the company make a decision whether to diversify from providing only cost analysis services to also offering IT system installations. Okay, so this could be a correct statement. Let's go over the other choices. It can help make a decision whether to use a different software package to handle client billings. This is more on operations already than the range of the products that will be implemented. It can help it make a decision whether to set up a line of credit. Again, this is more on operations. It can help it make a decision whether to sponsor a local sports team. Okay, so out of the choices, the best answer here would be the first option. The mission statement can make a decision whether to provide only a cost analysis service or to offer also IT system installations. Okay, so if remember, your mission statement should have a hint or an effect on your long-term business objectives. Number 40, which of the following two organizational strategy types compete with each other on a head-to-head basis? The answer here, class, would be letter C, product differentiation versus product differentiation. If you are on a cost leadership, Uh, you're just trying to be the most uh, affordable, so it does not. You're not concerned about product differentiation. Okay, but if both of you are offering product differentiation, then you will definitely have uh, uh, you will definitely have an issue with those implementing also product differentiation. 41. All of the following correctly describes an example of following the focus strategy except. Okay, a company drops products in oil industry in all industry segments but one. So definitely you're focusing now on this segment. Uh, so this is an example of a focus strategy. A company invests in automated manufacturing equipment to enable it to produce a product that appeals to a particular industry segment only. Another kind of a focus strategy. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills to enable it to produce a product that appeals to a particular industry. Again, also a result of a focus strategy. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills to enable it to produce a product with features not available in competitors' products. So now this would not be considered as a focus strategy. Okay, so the answer would be the fourth choice here. Okay, in a focus strategy, organizations will limit their attention to a particular segment in the industry. 42, which of the following is a characteristic of a long range planning? So this should be very answerable class based on logic alone. It focuses on achieving goals such as meeting annual profit objectives. And annual, the focus here is on annual profit, so definitely it's not long range. It is prepared for periods not exceeding 1 year. Again, that's short term. It is used to review progress rather than as basis for uh, control. Okay, so that's correct. More details is presented than in a budget. Okay, you have more details in a budget. So the best answer here is the third choice. A company has developed and implemented a wireless charging feature into one of its flashlights. No other competitor in the marketplace currently offers this feature. In a marketing research study, the vast majority of consumers uh, indicate that they would pay a premium for this feature. Which one of the following is the best strategy to bring this product to the market? Okay, since you have a differentiated product, so you should be using differentiation strategy. 44. Which of the following statements concerning an automobile dealership's mission is correct? It can help it make a decision whether to stop selling new cars and only sell used cars. This could be correct answer. Let's go over the other choices. It can help it make a decision whether to offer free snacks to people test driving. So definitely this is not a focus of your mission statement. It can help it make a decision whether to hire an additional salesperson. Again, that's operational already, not so long term. It can help it make a decision whether to send its sales staff to a 2 hour seminar. So the best answer here is the first choice. A mission statement can help the company make a decision whether to stop selling new cars and only sell used cars. 45, the short-term objectives, tactics for achieving these objectives, and operational planning must be congruent with what? Choose the best answer. External factors, internal factors, performance evaluation, incentive compensation factors. Okay, so the best answer here would be the fourth choice, the organization strategic plan and long-term strategic goals. 46, which of the following correctly describes an example of following the cost leadership strategy? Um, When we're talking about cost leadership, let's check it. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills so they become more efficient and reduce total operating costs. This could be our answer. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills to enable it to produce products that are higher quality than competitors' products. So now you're trying to differentiate your products from the others. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills to enable it to produce a product with features not available. Again, differentiation. You're trying to differentiate your product from the others. A company sends all its employees to training to improve their skills to enable it to produce a product that appeals to a particular industry segment. So this here would be more of a focus strategy already. So the best answer here would be the first choice, the first option. 47, which of the following correctly describes an example of following the focus strategy. A company hires experts in lean manufacturing to help improve product efficiency. This would be more on the cost leadership strategy. A company hires research scientists to enable it to develop products that are higher quality than competitors' products. This would be more on differentiation strategy. A company hires research scientists to enable it to develop product features not available in still differentiation. Next, a company hires research scientists with industry expertise to enable it to produce a product with features attractive to one industry segment. Okay, we're looking for the focus strategy, so this would be our answer. Uh, we are focusing on one industry segment. So the answer here would be the fourth choice. 48, which the following correctly describes a cost leadership strategy in the framework of Porter's generic strategies. Uh, the strategy, first option, the strategy focuses on the organization's ability to sell a high volume of lower cost products or services. Okay, so far so good. In order to be able to implement this strategy, the organization should have high levels of productivity and efficiency, as well as access to extensive distribution resources. Additional factors affecting the successful implementation of this strategy include proprietary production technology and control of low-cost production inputs and access to low-cost financial capital. Okay, so this makes sense. This describes cost leadership. Let's try to go over the other choices. The strategy focuses in the organization's ability to sell a high volume of lower cost products or services. In order to be able to implement this strategy, the organization should have high levels of productivity and efficiency, as well as access. Okay, the organization must foster continued product innovation and improvement through. No. If you're under cost leadership, you're not so much. Your focus is not on research development. Third option, the strategy focuses on product and services with unique features, not the uh, differentiation is not the focus of cost leadership. Okay, basically, you offer the same product that is already in the market that is of high demand. The strategy focuses on product or services with unique features. So again, out of the choices, the correct answer would be the letter A, or the first choice. Which of the following correctly describes an example of following the cost leadership strategy? A company invests in automated manufacturing equipment to reduce production costs. So this is likely correct as our answer. Letter next choice, a company invests in automated manufacturing equipment to enable it to produce products that are higher quality than competitors' products. No. A company invests in uh, automated manufacturing equipment to enable it to produce a product with features not available. Again, no. A company invests in automated manufacturing equipment to enable it to produce a product that appeals to a particular industry segment. Okay, so out of these four options, it's the first option that describes a cost leadership strategy. Number 50, how can stakeholders analysis be linked to strategic planning? Uh, the answer here would be the fourth option. Uh, Stakeholder analysis helps an organization frame its corporate social responsibility. Okay. 51, a successful strategic plan should have SMART objectives. We've discussed this already. Which of the following is not an aspect of SMART objective? S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable. So letter A, accurate. The third choice here, accurate is not the answer. Okay. 52, an organization's long-term business objectives. The addition or deletion of product lines or the penetration of new markets are derived from uh, the mission and vision statement of the organization. So that would be our answer, the third choice. 53, which of the following is not a characteristic of a successful strategic plan? The strategic plan compels managers to align their own planning and decision making with the longer term goals and strategy of the organization. That's correct. The strategic plan improves communication and aids coordination among managers by helping them align their goals with the overall strategy. That's also correct. The process of building the strategic plan should be exclusive to organization's executive leadership. That's incorrect. So this would be our answer. Okay. Fourth option, performance evaluation and incentive compensation can be tied clearly to the strategic plan. That's also correct. So the answer again here is the third choice. 54, which of the following correctly describes an example of following the differentiation strategy? Efficient manufacturing techniques, that's you're trying to reduce your cost. Uh, a company heavily invests in R&D to develop products with features competitors' products do not have. So definitely this is product differentiation. Uh, Letter C is still on your cost. You're trying to reduce the the cost of the packaging process. Letter D, a company heavily invests to enable to produce a product that appeals. The fourth one is a focus strategy. So again, the second option is the answer here. Okay, we'll end here. The rest of the choices would be the rest of the practice questions would be answered in a separate video.